All right, so we have a 2005 Pontiac GTO presenting itself to the garage with a blown up engine. As you can see, we've already got the engine out. Transmissions on the other side of the garage. This is a 6-speed car, 2005, so it's a factory LS2. And there is some of the destruction. There's bits of the piston, small end of the rod, the piston pin, and a stray valve spring. So, as you can see, this car dropped a valve. LS2, 2005. This was 400 horsepower from the factory. And we are missing cylinder number 4. I'm trying to investigate what happened here. And obviously, it dropped the valve. You know, first thing all we knew was it blew a hole in the side of the block through a rod. You know, that's the first thing it saw. So what had happened was this car was in Atlanta traffic. I think it was like on I-75 in downtown Atlanta. It was my brother's car. He was driving it. And he let off the clutch, revved it up to about 4,000 RPM, and it just stopped. Obviously, when you drop a valve, that's kind of the way she goes. So what you don't see from the piston has turned into confetti, and you can see some of those chunks down here inside the oil pan. Now, we're trying to figure out what caused the valve to drop. So, bits of the pistons, you know, the rod, and then we have the cylinder head. So obviously, that's the valve spring here, and the spring itself is snapped. You can see the retainer is kind of trapped in there. The keepers looked fine when we took them out. They're somewhere else in the garage right now. But I've never seen a spring snap. Now, this isn't this engine's first time apart. No, it didn't blow up before, but this engine has almost 140,000 miles. About 20,000 miles ago, it flattened one of the roller lifters. It's a common problem with the LS2s. So we put a lumpy cam in, high lift, high duration cam, from a renowned aftermarket supplier. These springs are also aftermarket for the higher lift cam, you know, so you don't float the valves. But, I've never seen a spring break, ever. And again, that's an aftermarket spring, so it's not a GM piece that broke. But when you look at the pistons, these are supposed to be flat top pistons. So there's number 2. See that score? Number 4 is obviously gone. There's nothing left. 6. There's a score and a score. 8. There's a score. Go around. 1, 3, 5, and 7 all have marks. It looks like the valves have floated once. And with the high lift cam, they kiss the tops of the pistons. And in at least one of the cylinders, it looks like the exhaust valve did too. Now this valve that dropped, that was number 4 exhaust valve. So I don't know, most of the other ones that have that mark of the piston are intake valves. But again, this is the one where the spring broke. So the jury's out. Again, I have never seen this happen. Taken apart a lot of engines. That's new. So who knows? Anyway, this is expensive. We turned a piston into confetti. And this is what happens. Only 140,000 miles. The car was cammed. There was nothing wrong with the engine before. But, again, nothing seems to make sense here.